Welcome in, everybody. Stephen Lucas back for another Crimeycade podcast and a little. Well, somebody said they wanted to meet this cat, so here you go. Here he is, the real star of the show, Cody, the Crasher. Yeah, you are a goof. Ouch. He'll crash the show and take it over. That's what he does. And then he wants my lap because I've been not home all day. I was home yesterday. He won my lap yesterday. I was working around the house, just getting up, sitting down. It's like, since I sit down, he's in the lap. Because I was gone at the Galvin Ghost for 3 days. So he wanted to have his time with me. And he got his time with me. Of course. That's what he does. My other one will make a cameo appearance. Oh, shoot. Good thing the cap was on. The other cat will make an appearance sometime during this podcast because I intend to leave this room and show off the Christmas tree since it is the holiday season. Yes. Oh, right. He looks identical, doesn't he? Yes, he does. He's a ginger. What do you expect? And those in the chat have made some comments already. Israel Bahina says he's going to get his New Year's resolution is going to be taking the title back to have his second reign with the title. It's going to go to Dan Perez's house and kick some tail. Anyway. Anyway. All right. So this is kind of informal tonight. Because, we just had Christmas. And it's the day after Christmas. Christmas on a Wednesday is kind of in a bad spot in the week, in my view. Smack dab in the middle. And if you wanted to travel, you'd have to travel the weekend before or the weekend after, or burn vacation days during that week to have a real Christmas with the family, especially if they're out of state or way far away and you got to drive long distance. And so this Christmas or this holiday season, Galvin Ghost the weekend before, the first weekend of winter, Star Winter, December 21st, went back to the Galvin Ghost Arcade. And thank you. Back to the Galvin Ghost Arcade as I had a challenge card I needed to fill out. And I had, I should have brought the card in here with me. Doggone it. Well, I had 6 out of the 10 challenges filled. The ones that have been giving me problems have been Bomb Jack and Dragon's Lair. 2 games the last time I was up at the Galvin Ghost Arcade were out of commission. That would have been 64th Street and Food Fight. So 64th Street was brought back up and running. Whatever issues it was having were fixed. And the challenge was get 300, I believe 325,000, 350,000. I did cross that. I think about 380. So that got over the finish line on that challenge card. The next task was to take on Bomb Jack, which was going to be the hardest one to deal with. And it took 2 days and several hours. The quickest way to 400,000 is hit all the bombs in order. And if you hit all the bombs in order, that is what fuses that light up first, you get a 50,000 point bonus. You also want to get your bonus multiplier up to 5, and that, and now this cat's going to leave, thank goodness. Every 5,000 points on Bomb Jack, a bonus B letter comes out. Once in a while, it's a bonus E letter. But you want to grab that bonus icon to increase the multiplier. Whatever's left on the screen, whatever bombs you haven't collected, are now worth the amount times the multiplier. You get the P switch, and get it when it's like either, what's the order? Yellow, let's say can, blue, and silver. No, can, yellow, silver. Well, you want to get when it's silver. So that's worth the most points. You don't want to pick it up when it's red or blue, because that's the least amount of points. But if you get that P switch and you got that multiplier going, you have to, then you can go grab all the enemies. You turn into helpless little yellow coins with eyes that kind of look like. Start nabbing those, and the more enemies you collect, take down, it's times 5, and you get that enemy value up to 2,000. That's 10,000 points. That's a 10,000 points right there. Problem with Bomb Jack is it is a pattern game, and I kept having to restart a lot because things didn't go right, and I would be able to hit the bombs in order in the first screen, most of the time the second screen, some of the time the third screen. If I don't collect them all in order, if I just miss one, it's 30,000. You can get 20 or 10, as long as you get 20 or more in order. By the time you get to level 6, bit of an issue. There's some tight space, and if you are trying to collect bombs in order, you have to go underneath a platform to go at the lit bomb, and those doggone bouncing black orbs who are just trying to home in on you. It's hard to get around them. And even worse if there's too many of them on the screen. At a certain point, it's like I was clearing 300,000 pretty often, but falling short of the finish line. Yes. Home tournament, yeah. Well, not this time. Crimeycade tournament is a maybe. And the cat is getting into stuff again. So I cry. Where was I going with this? And this cat is trying to dig in my bag, which I don't want him doing that right now because there's stuff in here I want to show off in a bit. Anyway, level 6, it was at the point, it was like, okay, I played this game so many daggum times. I'm close. I'm just not collect the bombs in order and just try to clear the screen, get to the next level, and kind of just get the next level and the next level after that. It was rough. So once I started doing that, then I got over 400,000, and then I kind of cleared some more levels. I got, I think, to level 11, but I was like panic collecting bombs, not trying to go for points except when the P switch was on the screen. So as to whether I would go after Jim Patzer's score on Bomb Jack, I would have to practice, so I'd have to main save state up to level 7 and above, and practice the levels after that. And that cat's up to something. What is he doing now? Yeah, you're gonna have your turn, and you're gonna have your turn on camera, little boy. Again. So I think I got about, I don't know, 480,000 at the all said and done. And now he's in my other bag. I'm gonna have to start showing off the crap that I got to keep him out of the bags. Oh, yeah, this idiot over here. Oh, he left alone, thank goodness. Actually, my final score was actually 466,000 was what I got. Jim Petzer's score is a little less than 750,000. My, the person who bugs me to get him bugs me all the time to let him on a show again and again and again says he's not available today. Isn't that funny? Anyhow, so there was also with Bomb Jack out of the way, then I turned to Dragon's Lair, another game that's been giving me problems. And unlike the last time around, the last visit, where I just keep failing, and it's just like keep having to restart and just not getting crossed. I seem to have had a better time with it this time around. Although Tommy Waffle said that he replaced one of the leaf switches on Dragon's Lair because the left direction wasn't working all that well. No, I kind of like wanted to blame it on timing issues, or it was just the hardest set ROMs. It was just real finicky about when you had to press make your direction press. It's like the room where the sword, the spiked ball, the spear rain down from you from the sky. If you hit the sword button way too early, or hit the sword button early or right off the bat, you die. Because apparently, when you hit the sword button, you swing at the weapon when you press it. So that kept messing me up. The spinning boppers, where there's this, I guess, Grim Reaper-like figure in a red robe that you encounter if you manage to get past it. That also gave me problems multiple times. I happened to get the order of rooms where I was able to clear those sections of the game, finally. Also cleared the Lizard King scene successfully. And get past one of the crumbling bridges with the bats flying at you. Managed to get past one of those. And I got 48,000. So that was done. Cleared that one. So that left Food Fight. Unfortunately, Food Fight's been having problems. Still having problems. The stick would not stay calibrated for long. And missed the too bad. Hang on. The too bad dude's high score is actually more than one. There's been multiple people with the max out, actually. I can tell you who they are. That's another game I want to revisit. Pete Hahn, Jamie Tibbetts, Joel Snively, and Andrew Owasco all got the max out on the game. All four of them. I'd like to 1cc the game and get all the tokens for that. like a permanent score that cannot be taken away. But I've been able to visit the game, and plus, playing it on MAME is different than playing it in the arcade game. I seem to have to play on the two-player side because the first player side's buttons are a little flaky. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll get that done this year. My goodness. Yeah, it's pretty informal tonight. So food fight, the stick would only work for a few minutes, and then I kept having to push harder and harder to the left to make it even go until it stopped. Your character would still face in that direction, but he wouldn't move. And it's like, I gotta recalibrate the stick again. And so I took a shot at it Saturday, ended up taking another shot at it Sunday. It still had problems. Monday, it seemed to work a bit better, and I played multiple times in one session. However, the stick started flaking out again. And I think the problem is because you're pushing to the left so much, rarely pushing to the right, the stick is wanting to lean to the left. And during some of my playtime, after I complete a level, I'd push the joystick to the right and just wiggle it up and down, trying to work the stick back to a center point so I could still play. Well, because of the joystick issues, the highest I got was, I believe 66,000 was as far as I got before the stick failed again. And it'll have to be another day before I go back. So let me throw up the slides here. And now I'm trying to get back to where I need to go here. Oh, I need to hide this. There you go. Wrestling's my favorite game. Yes. Well, I hope we have one this year, but who knows? Who knows if we'll get one? I need to hide that. Anyway, still got a Facebook page. Yes. So I made some progress at getting followers for this Facebook page, and I'm up to 57. I need 100. I really need 100. I've resisted inviting wrestling people to the page for a reason, and I'm going to talk about the wrestling stuff later. My feelings towards it right now, because since it was going to be covering multiple different topics besides gaming. Yeah, I have a lot on my mind, and I need to get it out. Otherwise, I can't move on. Or I can't fully recover mentally. But please follow facebook.com/Crimeycade. So Monday was the big showdown between me and Jimbo Slice, James White, the two most decorated gamers at Galloping Ghost Arcade. Gee, let me pull this up. There we go. Two most decorated gamers on Galloping Ghost Arcade, and I've been joined by Cody again. The Best of 7 challenge. So I've done other Best of 7 challenges, usually on fighting games, but not on random games drawn at the arcade. So this has been kind of a glorified hardcore challenge, but Best of 7. New stipulation I added to this was we each could re-roll one time a game that gets drawn that we don't like. If we drew a game we didn't like, we get one re-roll. Games that are re-rolled due to it being out of commission or not working, don't count. We drew one of those during this. Surprisingly, only one game was down when we drew games out. As you can see, those are the 7 games we drew, and 2 games that were re-rolled. Jimbo Slice, of course, drew MK3, and that was not a game that he liked very much. Year Kung Fu was a game I didn't care for very much. I know Pete Hun has the max out score on it, but I know how bad I am on that game, and it was not worth it to me to play that one. However, our rerolls did not pay off. Each one of us rerolled, and the game we drew, we did not win on. The other side won. So, both backfired, I guess. But looking at this list, the first 4 games that were drawn, which are on the left, these 4 right here, I should have ran the table, but I didn't. I lost on the Star Warrior, a game that I'm on the score for. I once held house high, but it's very rusty. Super Spy is able to pick up and play again with no problem. Batman Forever, rusty. I was on the card for it, and I lost by a very small amount. We did get a fighting game, and I did win that. Shock Troopers, not successful. That was the rerolled game. Did not pan out for me. I can't even remember. Oh, yes. MK3, what was the reroll? Oh, it was Super Spy was the reroll for MK3. I had Shock Troopers. I should have won that, but I was point pressing too much, trying to get those gems. If you roll into an enemy and knife slash them, they'll drop a 30,000 point gem. But you're more likely to take damage if you do that. And to wrap it up, Rivet. The prototype, the unofficial sequel to Frogger. I managed to take it on that. Clearing a bonus level, clearing levels quicker, not losing a life. When I got to cleared the second bonus stage, I was over the top, and I was the winner of the best of 7 challenge. So I was real happy about that. It's a rare, small victories have been hard to come by for me lately, and I was really glad to get that one because it's been a rough ride. I mean, I'm going to go through the months of the year in a second as to what went down over the course of gaming for the year, and quite a lot went down. Looking at this, so the chase for tokens and pretty much the orders stayed the same. I'm still trying to get over the 7,200 mark. James White has crossed the 9,300 mark, but he's losing ground to Andrew Owasco. So I know Doc Mack didn't put a lot of stake in the Professor Token Taker spot, but Andrew is the new Professor Token Taker, as he did dethrone James White for that title a few months ago. And that was a long climb up the hill to catch James White. I'm still trying to catch Jamie Tibbetts. Of course, it also would help if I was playing several different games and putting scores into them that I didn't have. Putting a score in on Zarzan did help quite a bit. I got a nice, impressive 15,000 on that game. So, here are the final power rankings for the month of December. Wow, I can't make this any bigger. What just happened? Something. I could have sworn a cat did something. again. Anyway. Let's see. Okay. Can I make this? No, I can't make it bigger. Oh, well. Uh, so, Andrew has not crossed the 200 score mark. In fact, I kind of stopped him from moving up even just a little bit. Uh, Andros Dos was the only score I was able to take over the weekend because I was busy with the challenge card and then the best of 7. So I really couldn't concentrate as much on getting scores. And can I hit a wall again? I need to strategize. The next time I go up to the Goblin Ghost Arcade, I need to have a list handy of what scores I'm going to go for. But anyway, Edward finishes off with the top spot, but still shy of 200. He's been hanging around the 295 for quite some time. 198 has been the highest he's gotten, but he's still short. And every time he takes a step towards 200, somebody takes a score from him. Not just me, others. There's a gamer here or a gamer there that come in, take a score, and then he's having to fight for that score back. But down the list, Mossy's, Blackie, Liming are going to be kind of swapping places. Well, a little bit of distance between the three of them now. Used to be a token or two apart, all for 4 to 6, but now it's a little more spread out now. Patzer and Pearl, that both of them haven't been to the arcade for a while. Probably a few months. 7 and 8. It's real close there. Anybody putting a score in on a game can move them up without them having to play a game. And of course, I'm sitting at number 10. Number 10, I got back in the top 10. I just kind of backed into it when a score got taken from Zurst. So, oh, this is an interesting comment. So you got a Roston cabinet, but you pulled the Roston board out of it and turned it into a 16-1. Well, you're gonna have to convert it back, I guess. Either that or just switch. I mean, it's JAMA, so you can just should have kept the board and just swap the boards in and out. I mean, I had to do that with my Raiden 2 when I put the 16-1 in it for a while to play some games. But then I put the Roston board, the Raiden 2 boards back in it, or back activated now. So let's see, what's the next announcement? Arcade Wars. So it's looking like Underground Retrocade has it. Correction, the Garcade has it. Underground Retrocade will take second. Gosh, Brooke Anderson. Maybe I need to get him on this show because he seems to be a juggernaut in the scoring community. If he pays a visit to Goblin Ghost Arcade, I think he's gonna set world record high score left and right. He's just gonna run over everybody and probably take some scores away from one Andrew Wasco and Pete Hahn for that matter. But yeah, till New Year's Eve, 1 week left. And it's looking right now that Goblin Ghost is going to finish third. For the year, Goblin Ghost it's going to be finishing 4th or 5th overall. And then Doc is kind of disappointed in that one. So, yes, there is the Pong tournament. This Saturday. Well, 29th. 29th. So it's Sunday. This Sunday at 1. Kind of out of the wheelhouse of when Josh Pitts, what he normally does. But who's going to air is the question, because a lot of us are not available. I'm not going to be up there. I'm going to be going to my dad's house for Christmas. I believe they're going to stream it, but we'll see. But January the 12th, 3 p.m. Central, will be the Mortal Kombat tournament. I'm not crazy about doing a one-day trip again because I need to be around on the 11th down in Springfield. At least I feel like I need to. But you gotta sign up at bloody-wars-tournament.com, and let's see how many, they had the MK1 tournament earlier this year. Now it's back to the original game. Let's catch these up here. Down the Gunsmoke, yes, the Rostons in the Gunsmoke. Oh, okay. That Nightbot. Yeah, you better buy back. Better buy back. Going to GGA Saturday. We'll see if there might be a challenge card for you. I don't know. But I think Doc Mac only gives them out on Mondays. Anyway, let's see what else is there. Alright. So I guess I should go back to reviewing stuff. A few more days. 2024 is about in the books. And it's been a rough couple of years mentally for me. I want to say that 2022 changed me. 2023 broke me. 2024 opened my eyes. In 2025, I need to come back to everything that I had to abandon for a while. Because the world is not going to be the same. The world is not the same. In fact, can you believe that virtually overnight, like 24 hours after Election Day, the entire world, the mentality of the world completely changed? Now am I talking about the presidential race? Yes. Presidential race happened. It had an effect on the mentality of people everywhere, in all things. Gaming, sports, mentality of it had an effect on cancel culture. It basically put it on the brink of going into the dustbin of history. Wokeness. And what does wokeness and cancel culture have to do with gaming? Well, there was a lot of that going on this year. But, yep, he's going to try for one. One of the biggest things that happened this year is basically political correctness, cancel culture, wokeness tried to infiltrate the gaming world. And based on the after effect of the Bud Light boycotts last year, where that cringy social media influencer, a band, Bud Light partnering with it, Anheuser-Busch, this little boy bit me, idiot. That didn't go over well with the public. And then things started to turn as people decided, if we're going to make a stand against cancel culture, wokeness, and all this other nonsense, we're going to make Bud Light the hill that we fight the final battle on, to try to take back some semblance of normalcy in the world. And that boycott ended up being vastly successful. The aftermath of that boycott, the effects of that successful boycott, are still being felt today. Still being felt today. Still had a ripple effect. Other brands started feeling the heat, doing stuff that really has nothing to do with selling product. I mean, yes, companies thought they were going to make money by, I guess, engaging in virtue signaling. But those virtue signals backfired. And then companies started losing money. And then they've had to, oh gosh, the DEI programs that some of these companies implemented, they had to roll those back due to backlash. Consumers put their foot down and said, no more of this. No more of this. And you can imagine that all this stuff tried to infiltrate the gaming world. We play video games to have fun. We don't play video games to have a political message shoved in our face. I know there's some people in this audience that absolutely hate politics, or they're oriented the complete opposite of what I am. But nonetheless, politics tried to infiltrate gaming, and they tried to virtue signal and preach to gamers, and the gamers were not having it. You know, you hear all this talk about this company called this DEI gaming consulting firm called Sweet Baby Incorporated. I like to refer to them as toxic brat, because they are toxic. They are brats. The people who involved in this company, who shoehorn political messages or virtue signals, or kind of just try to preach to gamers stuff they don't want to hear, not interested in. They're here to they're wanting to play games and have fun. They don't want to be talked. They want to escape the real world. And yes, they want to escape the real world. Who wants to pay $100 for a glorified political commercial on your console? No one does. Besides the game being so preachy, the game mechanics, the storylines were not up to par. They were not. The games started with, I guess, all the attention started with Suicide Squad. Then it transcended to other games. I think an Alan Wake game got tagged with it. They're used. I'm off the top of my head. Oh yeah, one of the God of War games. Stuff that looked out of place got shoved into that game, and that got some unwanted attention. They tried to shove some politically correct things into Call of Duty. And one of the items they threw in the game happened to be rainbow-colored bullets, which had the bad timing of being put in the game at the same time as the Nashville school shooter. So that incurred a lot of backlash. As time went on, people were composing lists of games that Toxic Brat was involved in. There's a lot of channels on YouTube. Other streamers, side scrollers. You've probably heard of them. They've covered that extensively all year. Their battles with Kotaku, Sweet Baby Inc., and anybody else who has a flaming hot poker jammed up the rear, waiting to lash out at someone for challenging or questioning what they're doing. I believe there's Smash JT is like having a lawsuit with Alyssa McCarthy, the editor of Kotaku. Meanwhile, Kotaku's on borrowed time. It's on the brink of going out of business or being sold off, as the parent company has been selling off assets. Selling off some of these media properties, websites that are not making any money, they're losing the money, so they're getting rid of them. Kotaku hasn't been gotten rid of yet, which is kind of surprising. Then earlier this year, you probably heard of the biggest flop of the year. Concord. $400,000 or $400 million sunk into this game, this one game. And this is, there's been all this chatter of the video game crash of 2024. And that's tied to all these AAA games that are pouring hundreds of millions of dollars to develop. I mean, one of these games, like Spider-Man 2, I think barely broke even because of all the money they spent on making the game. I don't think they could ever sell enough copies to get into profitability. I think the game cost $1 billion to make, and they barely broke even on it. It's bizarre. So Concord is what you probably remember that one. One of those hero shooter games that's supposed to compete with games like Fortnite or Player Unknown Battlegrounds or whatever else. Gosh. Yeah, I said Fortnite. What else was there? I know there's some other games that were just super popular, but I can't remember. Anyway, once the game was officially released, it only lasted a couple of weeks, and then they shut it down. And it ended up being the biggest video game flop in history. Although now I'm hearing chatter that an even bigger flop is about to drop next year. Some space game, and I can't remember what game it was. It's Intergalactic. It's supposed to come out next year. They had a character who basically shaved her head. I guess they're going for the Ripley of the Aliens movies look, but apparently I don't think that's the vibe they were going for in the beginning, because I think there were, one of the biggest scandals, one of the reasons why Concord was such a failure is because the characters in the game had no charisma whatsoever. None. And no charisma. So people didn't want to play this game because they didn't want to play a character that has the charisma of a damp rag. So the game bombed. There was another game called Dustborn, and it had every dadgum is probably the most the most politically correct game ever made, with the most everything, every representative of every left-wing trope they managed to get into this thing. Cat's jumping in the bag again. Gosh, I'm still looking for this. The name of this game that's supposed to be. It's gonna. And this cat's back again. I need to stop talking about politics and gaming. Need to wrap this up because I need to move on to the next topic because I'm going to show off stuff. So thank you for your patience. Gosh, I can't find it. Anyway, there's some intergalactic game. Maybe the people in the chat seen it or heard about it or seen trailers, but this game is expected to flop even worse than Concord. So we'll have to see. Disney or Sony really took it to the shorts this year. A-Train's going to try the 1cc horror story. Good luck. Good luck. That is a hard game. That's not easy. All right. Let's see what else. So yes, wokeism is going to be wokeism, DEI. The one thing that I will not miss about 2024 is those things are going to be swept in the dustbin of history. As you know, just a little while ago, last few days, Disney is finally going to stop putting out. It's going to remove the woke and politically correct content or avoid hot button issues and stop getting into politics. Because Disney really took it, really ate billions of dollars in losses. Whether it's over Star Wars, gosh, they're gonna lose big on Snow White. They're gonna lose their ass on Snow White next year. People have pretty much decided they're not gonna bother with this movie. Well, they got rid of the magical creatures and put dwarves in there, but they're CGI dwarves and not very good ones. Now, I do remember Hornswoggle appeared on one of the Fox News shows and complained that he's being denied work because Disney was engaging in political correctness, where they thought, well, anybody, midgets, dwarfs, like Hornswoggle, Dylan Summers, is being portrayed badly, and they should be out of work as to not, I guess, offend the public or something. It made no sense. It made absolutely no sense. So, I think he was wanting to sue Disney over this, being denied work. Because, Dylan Hornswoggle, I don't believe, wrestles very much anymore. I will tell you that Hornswoggle will be going back to the Midwest Gaming Classic next April. He's going to bring back, what's the name of the show? I think it's ACW, but I can't remember the acronym. All Championship Wisconsin or something. I can't remember the name of the call letters. Oh my goodness. My memory's bad. I'm gonna pull this up here. I gotta look it up. I gotta look this up. Let's get in classic. Guys in the chat, is anybody going to Midwest Gaming Classic next year? Anybody? Let me know. I've gone, so gosh, I need to go review what all happened in the past 12 months. Well, for me anyway. I need to bounce around from one topic to another. Oh, let's see, where is it? ACW. Well, ACW Wisconsin, yeah, it's going back, but I can't figure out what it stands for. Anyway, no matter. They're going to, yes, wrestling at gaming conventions, when I was trying to get away from wrestling to begin with. I'll get to that in a bit. Let's see, where was I? Yeah, I'm rambling all over the place, ain't I? So could we have a few more join us? Sis Crutcher, thank you for joining the podcast. How you doing? Let's see what else. Anyway, wokeism, DI, dandy politics, good, is going to take a back seat. Normalcy is going to be taken back in the year 2025. The true normal, not this fake normal, not this nonsense that we've had to put up with over the past 4 years. Post-COVID, 4 years. We have a president again, not somebody who's just a figurehead when somebody behind the scenes is running the country. Have some rationality. Have a lot more optimism. Game inflations will go down. Stuff will start getting more affordable for most people again, and very hopeful for the next year. So let's go. Let's see what else. So me personally, over the last 12 months, shoot. Well, I do need to. Let's see. What should I go to next? You know what? Let's take a look at my Christmas tree. Let's look at the tree. I gotta join this up here. How can I open in another browser? Copy link. So I have to open this up in Chrome. So I'm going to be switching up. Let's see what's going here. So I'm going to be switching to this so I can show off stuff in the house that I haven't been able to show. Claudio. Well, you know what, Claudio? I've been to 20 Midwest Gaming Classics in a row. And yeah, I think I've only missed the very first one. And it's the fastest 48 hours. Now, the vendor hall's so daggum. Ugh. I now walk through the vendor hall and I don't buy anything. I don't buy anything. So it's just hard for me right now. Just so daggum difficult. So I'm not buying anything, hardly. Certainly not new games. And this cat's going to get in my lap again, and I need to get up. Anyway. The water section? Oh, that's when they were auctioning stuff off or grading stuff. But the last Midwest Gaming Class, I was doing more tournaments and stuff. And I kind of felt like I just did not get my feel of the whole convention. And after the convention was over, it was like 5 o'clock Sunday. I was just like feeling the blues. And it was the first time I've had to feel the blues after a Midwest Gaming Classic. And I wanted more, and I just wasn't ready to go home yet. And it sucked for me. And so I was like, let me throw this up here. Because registering for the Midwest Gaming Classic before the end of the year, you get some additional bonuses. You obviously want to get your hotel room as soon as possible because that hotel fills up quick. I try to get it before, right before the end of the year every year and get a good spot anyway. I want them to put me on the side of the hotel where I can get across the skywalk and get back into the convention area as soon as possible. And that cat's up to something. Oh, he's white. So I had to wash that back here. Cat's did some stuff on this couch, and I have not gotten the smell out in certain spots. Cushions, I had to wash the covers on them. Certainly wash the throw. I still have to go. There's still cats are sniffing that thing a bit more, a lot more than I would like. So let me switch cameras here. I'm gonna position this here.
So I'm gonna switch it off. All right. I'm going to make this a little. I can't make it any bigger. I can't make it any bigger. Okay. I better put the headphones down because I'm getting confused. So you probably haven't got a tour of this before, but Cody, you're going to take this down and I'm going to be mad. About ready to pull the daggum headset down. He like wrapped his neck around it. Anyway, so here's some of the gamer decor here, and see that Mario switches. Shoot. There's some Pac-Man stuff. I got a Pac-Man album up here. One of them, anyway, had artwork on the album cover. That's a kid's album, but you know the artwork and stuff. Put it in a record holder like this, frame it, makes good gamer decor there. There's my Pac-Man marquee up here. That was a Hobby Lobby item. More of this up here. Game Guys made that Pac-Man thing that lights up. And I'm going to turn it on. If I can get the switch, there we go. And it needs a new battery. Of course, it needs a new battery. Boy, it really needs a new battery because that's barely lighting up at all. Ah. Let's see, Dig Dug, Nintendo Entertainment System. Got more lights here. A couple of Donkey Kong dolls and Pac-Man Ghost plushies. Mario sitting there. Obviously, the Mario 3 you see in the background, the Galaga. Space Invaders. There's not very much gamer decor on Space Invaders. So that's all I got. That was like custom. This lights up too. Get this on. That lights up too. And I got to make Christmas ornaments here. I did not put these on the trees. I did not put these on the tree this year. But these all make noise. Let's see, the Sega. Oh, light all these up. Wish they'd do another arcade ornament. There's Commander Chaos. Sitting from my arcade games. Yeah, little pinball ornaments. And there's my Commodore 64 monitor. And my copy of Grace 2. I couldn't believe I got that. Let's see, what else do I got here? Yes, I got more art up on the walls. The controller prints were kind of new. That thing in the middle I've had for years. Oh, the good old fell down. There we go. I'll light it up. There you go. There's the 3. Coins are blinking. And over here, more tin signage. Some of it from Hobby Lobby. Some of it I ordered for Amazon. Certainly the arcade marquees. Grab Life by the controller. And Galaga Switch. The Double Dragon I got at Midwest Gaming Classic after winning cash and pinball bumper clock, more decor, posters on my door, including this. Yes, poster I made. Let's see. We got some comments here. Let's see. We throw this up here. Yep. I thought I came sign with Pac-Man. This needs a Doc Mac action figure. I got more to show. Let's go out here in the hallway. Obviously, my Twin Galaxies award. This is the first one I got. When I got my trading card. This is old. Look how young I am. 20-something years old. 20-something years old. Then Gamer of the Year, 2021. 2021. Then my most recent plaque. Get this up. Trying to make sure I got it in the shot. So I got this 3 years ago after winning, or 2 years ago after winning Gamer of the Year. And of course, Merry Christmas. Yeah. So I finally found a use. I got a bunch of these pins. I know King Can Black Man wears several of them on his costume jacket. I know Hobby Lobby was selling more of these pins, so I'm going to probably add to that this year. Okay, let's go up top. There's stuff up here. This is my trophy area, I guess. I had to put this stuff up here to keep the cats from messing with it. Especially that thing right there. Cody wanted to chew on it. Oh. And behind that, the so-called makeshift trophy I made for T20. That's not the title belt because Thirst did not send the original belt back, and then that's how we have a new year-to-year belt. The only time I did any good at pin golf. And obviously, there's my trophy for the 91 Nintendo Campus Challenge. There was also back here, can't see it, but it's Pac-Mania 2012. I won a sizable amount of money. 2012 there. Story with that. Right after the conclusion of the Midwest Gaming Classic, it snowed. It snowed a lot. And practically a blizzard. And I had to pretty much use the money I want for the Pac-Mania tournament to get a hotel room because I couldn't make it all the way home due to the blizzard. Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun little experience. Well, let's go to the Christmas tree now. So I got ornaments to show off on this. So this is the tree. This, after I've acquired so many gaming ornaments, that's all I put on the tree now. And I got more ornaments to put on the tree. Yeah, Sonic, the little Angry Birds, the Marios, Tron's Light Cycle, there's Samus. There's a Tetris Game Boy ornament. No Sonic. Next level gamer. There's a Pokemon ball. Sonic and Tails, controllers, another Mario. There's Bowser in his Mario Kart car. Another Game Boy. Oh, there's Pac-Man. One of those gamer chairs, arcade machines. Yeah, my arcade, my rules. Oh, there's a Nintendo DS look-alike. Well, this thing keeps getting turned around. I need to have it face the other direction. There we go. Or I need to move it up higher because the cat keeps bumping into it. Not really a big fan of Pokemon, but those are represented in here, and obviously the controllers. Of course, Angry Birds. And a little bit of this. Yeah, there's my Galaxian. Galaga. There's Super Mario Galaxy over here. Oh gosh, here's that little thing right here. Yep. Pinball machine. Little bitty Coca-Cola pinball machine. Doesn't do a whole lot. Like the ball. Where'd the ball go? There we go. Anyway. Back to the podcast now. Oh. Switch back to the headset. You were adjusting my neighborhood? Oh, okay. Yeah, I still gotta guess. Good grief, I still gotta get a guest next week. I can get a guest in time because hardly anybody was available. So
let's get that off. So, yes. Anyway, that's a tour of my. No, I've toured the Crimeycade in the back of the garage, but not really the gamer stuff on the walls in the house. So I was glad to show that off to you for the first time ever on this podcast. Anyway, let's see what else. Let's see. So what happened this year? Let's see. Okay, so during the course of the year, Midwest Gaming Classic, I think that was, gosh, what? So I didn't tell you the big battle I had at Midwest Gaming Classic. It was against Jim Patzer. The host of Nick Arcade, Phil Moore, was hosting again, and he was hosting the, I guess, the Retro Gaming Challenge, and Pac-Man, or an Atari game, Super Nintendo game. I can't remember what the games were. Frogger was involved. No, that wasn't it. And now I know. Space Invaders was involved. Legend of Zelda was involved, and then NBA Jam Tournament Edition. And good grief. I don't think I'd have chapped lips during this podcast, but I do. The top 4 times, and it's like you have to clear something as quickly as possible in each of the 4 games. I had one of the top times. And or the top so many players got a playoff. They had to do the challenges again as quickly as possible, and then the final 2 was head-to-head at NBA Jam. A guitar was on the line as the grand prize. 2023, I came up short on winning a guitar, but I took home $500 in cash. Jim Patzer, however, this year is just the guitar as the grand prize, and Jim Patzer beat me. So I need to find a copy of NBA Jam for the Super Nintendo. Now I keep finding cards for the Genesis, but they're playing the Super Nintendo version. So I need to practice the Super Nintendo version in case they have this challenge a third time. I don't know if they will or not. Now they haven't announced any tournaments for the Midwest Gaming Classic yet, but they're making announcements almost every day. So keep watching their Facebook page to find out. What else happened this year? Yes, Bloody Wars happened. There's been a number of Bloody Wars tournaments, and oh gosh, cats are here again. You know, I didn't show off Angel when I was walking in the living room, but I don't know where she is. This guy's back. This furball is back. Anyway, sit down, boy. I think the biggest thing happened at the Galvin Ghost Arcade. I'm just jumping around here. Oh, this is what I need to cover. Early on this year, obviously I got an inquiry about this. Somebody emailed me, I believe the gal's name is Lucy, contacted me about the 1991 Nintendo Campus Challenge cartridge. Since I was the grand prize winner, she was looking for information about the rarest Nintendo cartridge. I supplied some information. She promised that she would try to get me in the Guinness World Book of Records. Since I am tied as the winner of this Nintendo Campus Challenge Championship. And number 55, of course. There I am. In the book. I'm in the Guinness Book of World Records, Gamers Edition, for the first time ever. That was a proud thing I was able to get, and very happy to have gotten that accolade. It was also around that time that I did begin the Crimeycade podcast back in February. Since I was not going to bring back my wrestling show. And that's a whole nother story. And, you know, it's already 9:30. I don't know if I'm going to get the wrestling stuff in. I guess I better pick up the pace on stuff that was the last 12 months. Bloody Wars did happen. I entered a number of those tournaments. The closest I got to winning it all was Tekken 3, but that was last year, I believe. I played other fighting game tournaments. I believe that started with Third Strike for the course of the year. WrestleMania did not go well. I think that was towards the end of last year. Third Strike's going to be brought back later. I've heard that. Now, I've not been able to make all the fighting games tournaments. Power Stone, obviously, I skipped because, you know, I had no chance. I couldn't figure out the mechanics. It's just like too much of a pain to deal with. I had best of 7 challenges on fighting games. Where are we gonna go to that? Arcadia? I guess we'll just have to meet up. I guess we're just gonna have to pick a time to meet up or something. But this weekend's out. Okay, speaking of this weekend, I may be going to you've never been there? Wow. You've never been to that arcade and you're running up and down I-55. I mean, I just jump off the interstate and just go in. I know it's open on New Year's. It's open New Year's Eve. It's open New Year's Day. So you might, I mean, if you have nothing else to do, you might as well go over there. Gosh. Maybe in fact, I mean, if you're driving past McLean, going up to Chicago, you might as well stop over and walk through it, even if you don't have time to play anything. That's what I do. That's what I do. And usually I'm just like stopping through just to see what they have and see if they got anything new for updating the arcade.com website, which I'm behind on that because I got some arcades to add. I haven't had dinner yet either. That's another problem. Anyway, I'm just jumping all over the place, aren't I? Oh, okay. Maybe I have to give you a ride. I don't know. What else is there? I'm losing my train of thought and I keep getting distracted. So yeah, I started this podcast. Oh, you live in Peru. Oh, LaSalle, Peru. I got it. So yeah, February I started the podcast. So my first guest ended up being JP Pitts. Then from there, gosh, now I gotta look to see what who my prior guests are. Someone messaged me and I haven't gotten back to her yet, and I'd like to in a moment. So who did I have this year? Yeah, some highlights of guests I had this year. JP Pitts, Nova Vale, King Cam Blackman, Damian Cordova, Samantha Cohn were my first 5 guests. Paul Tessie, Make a Retro Man, was also tied to the Nintendo Campus Challenge. That's another highlight of the year. He set a new world record more than once. And he's pushed that score about over 25 million. Pushed that score over 25, maybe 26. I can't remember exactly. Jose Velasquez joined in. Jimbo Slice, Tracy Gleave. Tracy was my first international guest. I also paid a visit to Wizards and Witches and Wizards Arcade over in, the weekend, 2 weeks after Midwest Gaming Classic when I felt like I didn't have my fill of the convention. Israel Babina, Cleo Capello, episode 10. Patzer, Dan Perez, Eden Cordova. Eric Pearl from Canada as my second international guest. Fat Chris. I had 8-Bit Brody, who hasn't it's kind of taken a lower profile in the last several months. But I had to have him on because we've had a few encounters on previous episodes of his show. George Spranos, Christian Dithering, Dana Cavalli, JJ Hendricks, who once owned the only surviving copy of the Nintendo Campus Challenge cartridge. Stephen Holmes from Australia, my third international guest. And James Gonzalez, Lloyd Brock, Jacob Grimm, Matt Hendricks, Gar Nelson, Taylor Lucas, Todd Freeman, Matt Fowler, Paul Zimmerman, Mossies, Scott Lambert, Ross, and Jeff, and Catherine Bosey, and then Tommy Waffles, and then my most recent guest, Chuck Sanderson. So those are all the guests I've had on this podcast, and hopefully I'll have somebody next week. Start the new year off Right. What else I have? So we got the Guinness World Book of Records drop in during the summer. As the weeks went on, I followed the Gamer of the Year chase, and the biggest shocker of them all, we had Game 1000, we had the T20. No side tournament. No side tournament, so I couldn't continue to streak. Zurst won again for the 9th time. So there's been 10 T20s, and Zurst won 9 of them. Had COVID never happened, he might have won all 10. And I wouldn't have be the only other T20 champion. I talked about Best of 7 with Jimbo Slice. That happened last Monday. I did challenge him for the C2E2 title. I came up short, and hence why the Best of 7 challenge had to happen. It also had to happen because the Pinball Expo, me defending my title, did not happen. So I had to get that grudge match to happen with the Best of 7 challenge. Small victory. Finally got a small victory out of so many things falling up short. Besides all the Blade Wars tournaments I entered and failed to win, I did get this Best Promo Award because of all those long promos I cut. The Pinball Expo, I didn't win the Pinball Expo title, but I got this. This was Paul Zimmerman's Virtual Pinball Tournament. I got second. No, third place somehow. Let's see what else. Of course, the year. Gosh. Yeah. Missouri Game Con. I had vendor table there. Sold some things. Yeah. It's one of those conventions where I am able to acquire stuff and sell. Let's see. Let's pull out stuff here. I have been buying stuff online. Oh, this is not what I... Oh, this isn't for my auction haul. Oh, well, forget it. I did acquire some stuff at auction so I could sell at Game Convention down the line. Xbox, PS games. Once in a blue moon, Nintendo stuff. Obviously, Atari stuff. So those have been made a little bit of money on that. But the Pinball Expo, the 40th annual Pinball Expo, I've been kind of tied to a vendor table. Helping Paul with that virtual pinball tournament, and didn't get to sell as much stuff as I thought I would. I mean, what else was I going to do without the Galloping Ghost Pinball Expo tournament? Also, my doggone Christmas tree, I have a Galloping Ghost ornament, and I can't find it. I need to add that to the tree, but I also have ornaments I bought today. Hallmark is heavily discounting. It's after Christmas, so the ornaments are now discounted 40%. And that's when I buy a bunch of gaming ornaments, and this is what I got this year. Yeah, Super Mario, gonna be bashing blocks. Get that. Gonna hang this on the tree. Pikmin. There's multiple Pikmin ornaments in this box. Toad on a cart. Mario Kart with Toad. Super Mario, his power-up in New Super Mario Brothers Wii. Looks like this box has been opened. Let's see what else. Sonic the Hedgehog. Yes, this is animated. Sonic runs around this loop. There's a power up on top. This is the heaviest one, too. I think this is going to sit on a table. It's not going to go on the tree because it's too heavy. Yeah, this is another Pokemon. One of the most recognizable figures of Pokemon. Oh gosh. A Sonic the Hedgehog cartridge. As a Christmas ornament. That's going to go on the tree. I need to get that Zelda. Legend of Zelda ornament. Another Sonic. This time he's got a Santa hat on. Oh, that was the last one? Wow. I had more than this. I thought I got... Oh, I know what I missed. I know what I'm missing. I thought I got an Xbox ornament, so I'm going to have to go back to the store and get that ornament. I thought I got that. Ugh! Wow. Damn. I thought I got them all. That was the one I missed. I thought I was pretty thorough with getting all the ornaments. I missed one. Oh, damn. Yeah, I only had 15 minutes to go through and pick up ornaments, but I thought I got that. I thought I got that Xbox. Now we have to go back and get it if they still have any. Chance of May sold out. I mean, damn. Oh, well, that's not good. Anyway, I'll have to see if I can grab it tomorrow. Let's see. I do have a few items so I had to do a house cleaning today or yesterday during Christmas. I did find some items. This is down in Southern Illinois. Gosh, is that camera gonna focus? I wish it would focus. I guess it won't. Heartland Pinball and Arcade Super Show. Gosh, there's only 5 of those. Oh god, this is a GameCube review disc. Preview DVD I had found. The lanyard from the very last Heartland Pinball and Arcade Super Show. They only did 5 of these, and there hadn't been any more, to my disappointment. Shoot. Yeah, I've got multiple Star Wars 5 free token cards. What else is there? Chicago Pinball Services. That card was out. I don't know how old this is. Chicago Pinball. I rent trade. Let's see. Oh, Gamer Magazine promo card. Let's see. Midwest Gaming Classic Event Sponsor Sheet. Yeah. This is the map of the floor. Oh. Where did they have it? Yeah, they had to have had this at where the heck was this at? Did they move yet? I think they were in a Como walk. Yeah, so this was like 5 years into this. Oh, this happened this year. 8-Bit Warrior. I guess this was a retro romance in a totally radical era. Alchemist Theater. Let's see. These are NBA All-Star cards. That had to do with the video game. I did not open these. Let's see. Gosh, I mentioned in an article, Midwest Gaming Classic 2008. This was in a comma walk. Midwest Gaming Classic brings players and game systems of every age together. This is printed March 30th, 2008. So this is one of the years when the Midwest Gaming was in March, and March is not a good month to hold the Midwest Gaming Classic due to the threat of snowfall. But be that as it may, Steve Lucas likes to think of himself as the 1992 Nintendo Campus Challenge National Champion. Well, 91 actually. These days, the 36-year-old Springfield, Illinois resident is a computer technician for the Illinois State Police. But the Midwest Gaming Classic is the perfect place to bask in old video game glories. In my heyday, I was playing several hours a day. I said, adding, they didn't expect to place well in today's tournaments. People usually win these pretty much have every system in every game. Well, yes, that's true. That's why I gravitate towards the classic arcade games. The classic two-day event that wrapped up Sunday evening at the Olympia Resort and Conference Center in O'Connell Walk is a kind of mecca for the region's pinball wizards, elite video gamers, and Nintendo Wii addicted youths. Registration totals weren't available Sunday, but event organizer Gary. Holy cow, they wrote hell. No, it's Heel. Heil. Bad journalism. Said attendance at the 7th annual event topped the last year's registration of about 1,700 people. In 2007, the classic netted organizers about $4,000, said 27-year-old Heel, who also co-owns the Goat Store, a video game retailer in Milwaukee. So yeah, this is quite the fun thing there. Let me dig through this. So yeah, I only got a little bit of a mention in the beginning of the article, but yeah, it's a fun time. Gosh, I miss Okama Walk. In the downtown of that place, pretty awesome. Right on the edge of the lake, pretty much a resort town. Let's see some other treasures I dug up. Tim McVeigh Day, yes. This is a poster I used to be hanging on the door, but I took it down and put something else in its place because it had to be featuring me. I'm not Tim McVeigh. Let's see what else. Other trinkets I found. Sega Genesis College Tournament 1990. I did not win this. I got second at Southern Illinois University. You know, I need to find the winner of this and see if I can get him on this podcast. This would be interesting chatter. I mean, this tournament was held the same year as the Nintendo World Championships. But there was a lot more games involved. I just love the cap. A lot more games involved in this. Yes, it was in October. Yeah, the first campus winners won $250. The first place winner won $250 and an invitation. Oh, they also get I believe they also get a Sega Genesis. And if you were in the top 30 in the two games was Columns and Tommy Lasorda Baseball, basically how many runs you score. Then if you're in the top 30 on those, you would get an invite to trip to Hawaii to compete for a 1991 Eagle Talon TSI AWD. Yeah, the national finals. So I got second place, $100. So calm down, little boy. He's freaking out again. Oh, something else. Speaking of Nintendo, the author of this book, he had this at the Midwest Gaming Classics. Andy Cunningham, I was going to help him. I was going to contribute material for the volume 2 of this book, and he didn't respond to anything. Emails. He didn't respond to emails or Facebook messages. I don't know why. I don't know why. But he's gone. So let's see. Another poster I found. Fun Spot. This was a giveaway item. Yeah, this was so this was an autographed souvenir. All the gamers autographed this thing. Oh, I need one for Steve Weeby and Troy Weehan. I need to find those two guys and get their autographs. Those are the only ones not on here. I have an autograph with Bob Lawton, who passed away a couple of years ago. I met one of his relatives at the Pinball Expo. I'd like to get him on and talk about the arcade tournament, or at least I'd like to talk to him about Fun Spot. Joel Hedge, gosh, I'm recognizing some names on this. Martin Bedard has been over here quite often. Joel Hedge has been over here. Donald Hayes has been out here a long time ago, hadn't been back. Brian Kuhn was on here, and I had a best of 7 challenge with him and won. Yeah, that probably was not fully aware of his accolades. So that's Fun Spot. Digging through this some more. Let's see, what else do we got? I wasn't there for this, so this was another souvenir poster. The Red Cross, I guess, had a first annual video game challenge. Kung Fu Master, Karate Champ, and Gridiron Fight were the games. This was held in, this is a Twin Galaxies event in, California. I don't know who won this, but this was back in, gosh, what year was this? First annual video game challenge. Epic County Fairgrounds. Buried treasure. Now, I don't have it. There's no year on this, so I don't know when this was held. Let's see what else. What's the next item on my list? City versus City. Team competition. This is in July of 1998. That was, gosh. Yeah, I wasn't, this was before Galvin Ghost's time. House of the Dead, Medieval Madness, Puzzle Fighter, San Francisco Rush, and Tekken 3 were the games. I don't know what cities were involved in this, but this is another Twin Galaxies poster I have. Jackfest. So this was Jackfest on tour with Danik. This was Danik Valley got this one, I guess, to me because I won one of his Harmony game competitions. But this is 9 of 15, so there's only 15 of these out there. If they all still exist, have not been destroyed. This might be something I give away to somebody else because I never owned a Jaguar, Atari Jaguar. Let's see what else I got. Golden Age is Reborn. Where was this at? Oh, I think there was multiple challenges here, and $100,000 for getting through the Pac-Man split screen. Nobody did, of course, not without some hacking. Yeah, $1,000 were offered for breaking the world record. $10,000 for scoring over 1 million points on particular games: Carnival, Berserk, Donkey Kong, Frogger, Hyper Sports, Ms. Pac-Man, Rally X, and Tucken Hom. Yeah, if you got if you broke 1 million on any of those games, you'd get $10,000. But if you broke a world record on, gosh, a couple dozen games, you would get $1,000. I don't know how many of those got awarded. Let's see. Video Game Festival moment. So I tried to go to this. This got canceled. Or one of these years, they tried to hold a video game festival at the Mall of America, and it got canceled. I don't know. I can't even remember the year I went to Mall of America. But this got canceled. But there was an Xbox promotion going on that year, or at least in its somewhere else in the mall, and I participated in those competitions. I did win some stuff. There's multiple arcades in there, but there's only like 1 or 2 in there now. Let's see what else we got. I did find this. Nintendo World Championship 2017. That was one of the posters they were giving away. Let's see. I have one for Metroid, Samus Returns. And let's see. The Super Mario Odyssey. That's another item. Oh, so that's all the buried treasures I found. I'm gonna have to go back to the Hallmark store tomorrow and try to get that Xbox ornament. I can't believe I missed it. I know that was on my radar to buy. I don't know why I didn't get it. Oh well. Anyway, last item on. I might have seen. I have a friend that I didn't buy it. Yeah, I missed it. Anyway, anywho. So the wrestling stuff I've got to cover, and I've got to close this out. So, and wrestling seems to be incorporating itself in the video game world too. There was a wrestling event at the Illinois Game Con. There was a wrestling event at Midwest Gaming Classic. Seems wrestling wants to be involved in the video game conventions a lot more and more. Why did I've been trying to phase out of the wrestling scene for quite a while. Last year, and this is tied to the wokeism, identity politics garbage. You know, unfortunately, there are individuals who don't want to work as hard as everybody else. They have a bad attitude. They have a narcissistic personality. Toxic. They think they're a lot better than they are. And they're looking for any means possible where they would not have to work as hard. They're also, gosh, there's a lot of white males who have no other way to stand out. They've got to find some way to stand out from everybody else, especially when they're not 7 foot tall and 300 pounds. So they've got to find an angle to stand out, or at least make promoters want to book them. And if you're also got bad attitude where you're like taking shortcut after shortcut, or you tried this, or you, I'm gonna get this turkey out of here. You're self-trained, and you know you're dealing with an individual. I've dealt with having to deal with, well, let's put it this way. Last year, things came to a head. Obviously, I talked about the Bud Light boycott earlier. Things came to a head where people were trying to guys who would not stand a chance, not be competitive against other men, have tried to figure out ways to grift and get the accolades they wouldn't have gotten by trying to be claim they're a part of another group or claim to be the opposite sex of what they are, what they were born as. Then they would infiltrate women's sports and steal accolades from women. And during the course of the year, there's been a lot of pushback against that. Whistleblowers have come forward. They've been trying to exploit vulnerable youth, trying to make them permanent lifetime outpatients. When adults who, I guess, want a new constituency to replace the ones they've alienated. Oh, we can create a brand new minority and get millions of dollars in campaign donations by exploiting vulnerable youth that are confused, that are growing up but don't know how to handle the typical changes that undergoes a person's body as they get older, as they approach adulthood. And people get unscrupulous adults plant ideas in vulnerable, impressionable kids, and then they make them think things that have no basis in reality or aren't true. And they actually act on this ill advice, and they come out of it, and then they find out, or they come to a realization, this is not what they wanted. But the damage has been done. And then they're having to, yes, people are claiming, well, you have dysphoria, when they actually don't. And I'm not talking about the people who have true medical dysphoria, because there are people in this audience who have true medical dysphoria. And the people who, this is kind of mixing. There's people who are trying to make money off of vulnerable youth by making them a permanent outpatient, having them undergo surgeries that they don't need, that alter their lives permanently when they don't know any better yet. I mean, it's making them do adult decisions well before they've entered adulthood. And yet they say they can't drink alcohol, they can't smoke, they can't gamble, they can't do adult things, but you can do this. But they're trying to make it pass off that they can they can make this adult decision that alters the course of their lives forever, and they cannot be reversed. There's been pushback against that, finally. Certainly, yes, Elon Musk has pushed out against it, but what does that have to do with me departing from the wrestling scene? Yes, the wrestling scene wants to copy what is happening in current events. I mean, years ago, It's been United States versus Russia or United States versus Iraq, playing on, or Iran. Battle. It's like have your American hero battling these evil Russians or evil Iranians or evil, whatever evil countries represented, and they play off that. Now, obviously, women's sports, you have these individuals who transition to other genders, and then they want to compete against the women, and then, of course, they have the physical gifts of a male, and then they went. Then it becomes all that controversy. It started with swimming with Rhonda Gaines, then tennis pros got involved and called this out. J.K. Rowling obviously called this out. They tried to boycott her game, and that did not succeed. In fact, it ended up being very successful. Everybody wanted to play it. What else is there? Anyway, I took the position to defend women, that women's titles should be held by women, not by males or somebody pretending to be not a male. And we got toxic, narcissistic bullies who have this attitude, and then they get this Twitter following. They hide behind their Twitter followers, so they can't be held accountable for their attitude. They can just invoke their Twitter lynch mob and scream bloody murder and harass and bully people into submission or into silence. And for all the faults of Twitter, and that Twitter has still been, I consider, to be a toxic human waste dump, and that's now kind of migrated over to blue sky. I did have a public access show, Pro Wrestling Central this week, and I cut editorial opinions, and I spoke out against men holding women's titles, because what's the point of having a women's title if it's being held by men? But you're not supposed to have that opinion, or at least in 2023, you weren't. If you spoke out against it, everybody came out of the wood. All these most toxic, vile, vicious, poisonous, narcissistic bullies just came out of the woodwork to trash you. Of course, after Elon Musk took over Twitter, and then he started removing all these bizarre rules to protect the snowflakes, the paranoid schizophrenic children who don't want to defend their positions. They just want to scream blamer, get whatever they want without any sort of pushback. Well, after a while, this is what 2024 turned the tide against this cancel culture and then the elections. They couldn't just demand anything they wanted and get away with it without any sort of pushback. They didn't have to defend their positions after a while. They didn't have to defend, but they had people backing up the people who were calling them out. They couldn't get their way anymore, or it's not as much. And the public at large grew tired of it. Pushback continued. A lot of pushback. And so they're migrating to blue sky. But regardless, when I expressed my opinion on my public access show, everybody was demanding long lights were out. They wanted me out, not involved in the local pro wrestling scene anymore, because I spoke my mind out about, and I had an issue with this one individual who had just really poisonous, really narcissistic, And what's really sad is so many people just fell over backwards to appease this child. And others like him. And a whole clique of grifters running around, demanding everything, with no accountability for their attitude. And I think, as time went on, the promotion to backed up the toxic, narcissistic bully clique. Now they started to be not so much into them. Now the people who, the ones who continue to display their bad attitude, public at large, kind of promotions weren't so much into them as they were, and their influence started to wane. Now they haven't been blackballed, obviously, but they certainly spent the last 2 years. They bullied me. These individuals bullied me. They're still trying to indirectly bully me through surrogates, or at least, well, indirect bullying as is attacking people connected to me to get to me. And that's still been going on. And, the last 2 years, the wrestling scene's been just, the Federation Sprawl has been the worst it's ever been. More promotions are open like crazy. The home promotion that I was connected to, isn't back to where it was. Negative stigma because of what happened last year. There's a few people that have slowly come back, but it's nowhere close to where it was. I don't know if it ever will be. But I was a doggone hot mess last year. Gaming was the only thing that kept me from, I guess, gaming was about the only thing that sustained me over 2023. Because I expressed my opinion that somebody didn't agree with. Now, 2020, now things have changed. More and more people are expressing an opinion they don't agree with. And the numbers have just accelerated. And now, any company that sticks their necks out to push this kind of agenda, this wokeism, this identity politics, the crew of people who engage in elective dysphoria to cheat the people who truly need medical care. They're losing their influence. They've lost a lot of influence the past 18 months, and they deserve to, because they're not. It's all about them. It's not. They don't care about anybody else. It's all about them. What they want, what they desire. They don't care about anybody else. It's all about them. You know why so many boycotts were so successful? It's because the companies lost more than they gained. The people who demanded they kowtow to them for the validation, likes, and retweets, they didn't open their wallets and they didn't fill the void for all the. They didn't buy more product. The advocates didn't buy more of their product to offset the losses. They did nothing. They didn't buy more cans of Bud Light to make up for the people who dropped the brand for Modelo. The most valuable thing to a toxic narcissistic bully is validation, likes, and retweets. Heck, that was the motivation for the Crystal Magnum who accused those Duke lacrosse players so many years ago. She wanted validation. She lied. She ruined people's lives. Abject lies. Claiming that they sexually assaulted her. Had no basis in fact. Media outlets fell for it, and they ended up paying millions of dollars in damages as a result for not fact-checking. Yes, journalistic outlets are going to be paying millions of dollars next year for not fact-checking. Anyway, I declared that May of this year, I was going to completely get out of the wrestling scene entirely, at least on my terms. Now I need to backtrack a little bit. After my crisis, well, during the midst of the crisis, obviously I had to go in for counseling because I was just in dire straits at that point, because of the crisis of holy hell. I mean, the world had been insane. There had been things they wouldn't have condoned years ago, they were condoning now because it was like the new normal. It was it was counterfeit, it was fake, it was phony. Not normal at all. No connection, no normalcy whatsoever. It's not normal in any way, shape, or form. This is the great thing about 2025 is we're going to get back to some semblance of normalcy. The true normal, not this fake new normal. Not this counterfeit normal. I had counseling. I had changed a job. I no longer work for Illinois State Police. I now work for a different part of Do It. I'm kind of financially better off than I was before. I didn't want to change jobs, but I had to if I wanted a promotion. What else? I did find out things about myself that I didn't know, and or thought it was gaslighting when people claimed, "Oh, I had this or had this or that." And there's some gamers I know that have the same condition I do, and I managed all this time with it. Oh, should I say it? Will they notice if I say it? I mean, I'm talking about my crisis. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. I've said it in other episodes, but not here. I did get tested. Well, I did. I'm gonna say it. I did get tested for the spectrum, and I was on the spectrum. So I now know why I functioned the way I did throughout life. That doesn't give them. That is, however, doesn't make whatever they did right. They certainly were wrong. Shouldn't have taken an election and a bunch of boycotts to prove that they were wrong. They shouldn't have been normalized to begin with, but they were, sadly. But now they're going to be now they're being denormalized somewhat to an extent where they just can't get whatever they want. They don't have a blank check for anything they demand anymore, and you have to make concessions. They're going to have to negotiate. They can't just have they don't have a blank slate to demand anything they want. So So this one person's joined back. There we go. She's back. Yay. Anyhow, I do have somebody I do want to thank that helped me through this crisis. But there's multiple people. My former coworkers in the Illinois State Police helped me through this mentally. Yes, I'm not. Yes, I'm not the same. I don't know if I'll ever be the same before the incident. I wanted to be a lot. I wanted to yammer more about the political scene and all the stuff going on. I just couldn't because I don't want to fan the flames. Because it was like people were just looking for an excuse to start screaming blame murder about me expressing an opinion again. Because these people are just several people are just vile. Shouldn't be even on the internet to begin with, or even on social media, because of how vicious and nasty they are. That's probably a good thing they all navigated the blue sky so they can be left there to rot, be forgotten, while the normal people dominate the. Because blue sky's never going to be anywhere close to the size Twitter was. Twitter is. They're just going to end up in the same boat as Tyler or Gab, for that matter. Although Gab's doing okay, it's just. But yeah, all the toxic people scream at each other in their own little world that's has no connection to the real world. Like former coworkers in Illinois State Police, thank them for helping me through my crisis over the last year. And I also want to thank, the reason why I'm still involved in wrestling at all right now. I do want to thank Yoni Mephisto, a pro wrestling epic. You've seen a few promos where I've shot in front of a banner, one of their banners. And was at my worst point. Mephisto was one of the few that lifted me up, at least from the wrestling scene. That reached out to me to kind of get myself somewhat reestablished, obviously away from the situation I was in locally. People were gonna, amazingly, the people who boycotted pinfall didn't organize a boycott against Epic because they weren't going to. I guess they thought they weren't gonna be successful fighting Mephisto. Certainly, they weren't gonna be successful fighting Blake Steele. That's now who's to say will pinfall ever come back? There is a contingency plan if pinfall doesn't get back its former glory, or at least some level of it. But there'll be a day where I exit the wrestling scene, and I think I'm going to get out in May. Now, people who want to pay me to film their shows, I guess I will. I will take that opportunity. But I'd like to gain a lot more and close out the wrestling chapter. It's just that it needs to be on my terms. I don't want to be on the terms of a toxic narcissistic bully or a bitter, angry former promoter who probably has the same condition I have, just never would admit to it, or maybe a wolf in sheep's clothing who is good around kids but slanders people on Twitter multiple times. Why? I don't want to. I don't want to get out of the wrestling scene on their terms. I want to be on my terms, where I'm comfortable leaving things better than they were when I entered. It's disgusting. It's unfortunate that got so many people who only care about themselves. They don't care about anybody else, and they'll destroy everything around them just so they can, I guess, raise their status or something. Raise their status, get opportunities that they did not earn just because somebody wants to check a box. And yes, a lot of box checking. Box checking doesn't give you the best and brightest. It gets you the awful and incompetent. But 2025 looks like that there's going to be a lot of changes and for the better. And, you know, I'll be next Tuesday watching the countdown clock and saying goodbye to 2024 and leave 2023 even further into the dust. Close the chapter of, gosh, a horrible last 4 years, starting with COVID and all the daggum drama. Yeah, a reckoning is coming to a lot. Some of the reckonings happened. There's a lot more reckoning to come. And it's going to be a while before I yammer about politics again. Certainly as it involves me anyway. But I think I'm going to wrap this up now. I never had dinner, but there's stuff I wanted to show off, but that can wait till some other week. I've rambled for like a couple hours. For those who sat through it all, I mean, thank you very much. I know A-Train is still here. Claudio's still here. There's a couple other people that are kind of hiding in the shadows. I don't know who they were, but anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. And who will I have next week? I don't know, but I want you all to have a great new year and hope to see you around the arcade soon. I am going to create a channel and yes. Oh gosh, he's still going? No. Here's what I'm going to do. Oh, I know who's. Okay, I'm going to give it. I know. The Brotherford. Another former co-worker at Illinois State Police, and I'm going to give him the raid. So, I want to thank you all for joining me tonight, and yes, thank you. Thank you. Have a good night, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Have a good night, everybody.